Today's show is about two of my favorite chefs,
Fire 43.
Missy Robbins and Patti Jackson, whose careers I've chronicled on this show over the years. They both built their reputations as top-tier established guns for hire working in Manhattan. But when the time came to open their own places as chef owners, they ended up just a few short blocks apart in the ever-expanding restaurant scene that is Williamsburg, Brooklyn.
I'm Mike Colameco, industry insider. Been in the business my whole life, and I know what it takes to succeed. Each week we'll take you into real kitchens, filmed in real time. Backstage passes to a day in the life of chefs, restaurateurs, and their teams. The competition's fierce. Careers, life savings, and reputations hang in the balance. These are my people, and this is their passion. And that's what's next on Mike Colameco's Real Food.
Mike Colameco's Real Food is brought to you by the continuous, generous support of the following underwriters.
Extra virgin olive oil from Colavita, an Italian family brand.
Rachel Ray's signature specialty food line, designed for preparing meals at home.
All right, 3, 2, 1, action. Missy Robbins.
Hi.
So, years back we filmed when you were at a Voce, both of them.
Yeah.
Such a badass job that when you left, they replaced you with two guys, and they still couldn't do it. That's all I'm saying. Missy was replaced by two guys.
Involved.
It didn't work. So
I'm not getting involved.
That's what a bad. So then you were just helping out. You took like a year off. You traveled. You just had all this
It took a little more than a year.
Well, let's just say
it was
a year.
meant to be a year.
You did a little thing with Cork Buzz with Laura Maniac.
Yeah.
It was fun because she needed like a
Oh,
pro
it
in
was
there to
super
get
fun.
that kitchen.
It was super fun. That was a great project.
How did this come together? Because this is neat. I mean, you and Patti Jackson are the show today, and you're both these established chefs from Manhattan who have long careers in Manhattan, and then suddenly decide to go out on your own, do your own thing, and you both end up in Williamsburg, which is kind of not necessarily ironic, but how it turned out.
It's funny. And we kind of came up in the business together.
Yep.
I mean, we used to hang out together, and for me, it was really a coincidence. Sean Feeney, my business partner, came to me one day and said, hey, there are these guys, they have a space. It was a functioning auto body shop.
So we looked at 38 places. Somebody sent me a link to the space. I didn't know anything about Williamsburg, to be honest with you. I'm a Jersey guy. I lived in the West Village. My wife and I always thought when we were done in Manhattan, we'd be moving back to Jersey. And this restaurant thing happened, and I was determined with Missy to find the perfect space.
You have to have a lot of vision. You have to, I'm a fairly creative, design-oriented person, so I understood that part of it. I kind of walked away from it and I was like, yeah, it's a cool space. I don't want to open in Williamsburg.
First dish is going to be
Mozzarella with garlic bread, botarga. We love the West Village and we wanted to open in our home, and it was just becoming very cost prohibitive and we couldn't find the right space. And after a couple months of kind of looking and thinking about this, kind of decided that it was the right move. We make this garlic butter, straight up butter, lemon zest, roasted garlic, fresh garlic.
So it's raw garlic and roasted garlic.
Raw garlic and roasted garlic. I do that in a lot of dishes, kind of different preparations of garlic because I think it brings out different
flavors,
different nuances.
And this is like a ciabatta?
This is a sesame rustic kind of
Whatever,
loaf
yeah,
from
really
Amy's.
airy.
From Amy's, and it's got great chew, it's got air, it's got bite. The sesame kind of adds a different nuance to it. And then this goes in the oven. So, like we said, we make this every day in-house. It's really like labor of love.
Where's your curd from?
Curd is a
Proprietary secret?
no, it's a big brand name.
Okay,
It's a big brand name that people would be surprised, but I have found it to be
They're good.
it's the most consistent.
Yeah, I know. You're not the only
It
one.
stretches the best.
Yeah.
It gives me this beautiful, soft, tender product. Taste that. It
Fresh
turns
mozzarella.
out that with a little patience and a little love, this really isn't that hard. 3 slices of mozzarella or so, depending. Sea salt, lemon zest, because lemon zest just makes everything better.
Why not?
It's in probably 98% of my dishes.
Well, that's got that,
98.
that like acid brightness. It's a
It
polisher.
just adds something. A
What
little
kind of
chili
pepper?
flake, and then
Chili
we
flake.
finish. This is
Botarga.
botarga, and this adds that sort of seafood brininess, earthiness. Just a little finishing oil,
Yum.
and that is it.
All right, beauty shot, Mr. Conlon.
Order fire bass fett going together, guys.
Talk to me about this.
That's our malfadini, probably the most popular dish on the menu. Butter, Parmigiano Reggiano, pink peppercorn.
Super
Whole dish,
simple,
that's
super
it. A little
delicious.
pasta water.
Delicious.
Thank you.
Sorry to bother you.
Agnolotti, second most popular pasta. Agnolotti filled with sheep's milk ricotta and feta, saffron,
Yeah.
oven-dried San Marzano tomatoes, thyme, honey, chilies.
It's
Most
impossible.
complicated dish at Lilia.
It's creamy, it's delicious, it's saffron, it's got sweet. It's like so
It's
good.
got like
On
everything
so many
you want in a
levels.
dish.
On so many
Earth,
levels.
cream.
It's like Roman royalty food.
There you go. These are called Corbari tomatoes. Come from just south of San Marzano. The sweetest, most amazing preserved tomatoes you will ever have in your life. Baby squid, we marinate these in orange zest, lemon zest, a little bit of garlic, parsley. We like to call this the magic dust. This is fennel pollen. It goes on everything. Magic dust.
So a complete build out. Auto body shop leaves, you gut everything out, you
Oh, yeah.
take all the walls down, these beautiful exposed beams, this old, you got a skylight here, and you got to design a kitchen, which is great from scratch. You get
This
to
is
put it
the
in.
first kitchen I've ever personally designed from
Right.
scratch. Grilled swordfish, sweet and hot peppers, Italian long hops mixed with Calabrian chilies, finished with breadcrumbs, capers, mint, and marjoram.
So what are we making now?
So we're gonna make a fettuccine with lamb sausage and a lamb sugo. This is off of a leg of a lamb, kind of a traditional hot sausage, chilies, fennel seed. There's no pork in it, it's all lamb, 100% lamb. And this has been kind of par cooked and then broken up and then just kind of gets a little re-searing. This is
different
this is a
tomato sauce.
sugo that we make with lamb bones. Taste it. It's like a lamb's tomato stock, essentially.
You can actually taste the lamb.
Oh yeah. This might be my current favorite. This is the one. This is the one I kind of crave. I like when I'm really hungry. The rigatoni's comfort, the malfadini's kind of pure indulgence, and this is sort of I'm craving this. I have to eat it now. This is our fettuccine.
Whole eggs, extra yolks, what's the
No,
recipe?
only yolks.
Only yolks.
Only yolks. And this we're not looking for al dente. This I want
Right.
it cooked
Silky.
properly, silky, smooth. This
Lemon.
is a dish we played with a lot, and we played with different herbs, and we didn't like any of them, and we kept changing it. And Eric said, "Let me try lemon zest," and I said, "No, I just don't see lemon zest with it." And guess what? He won.
works.
Oh, it changes the whole dish. It's awesome. And again, you want the sauce just kind of married in here. You don't want a ton of sauce on top. Pecorino. And that is it.
So Eric, you've been with Missy since Avoce. I remember the tattoos. I remember this tattooed guy. This guy was in the Avoce kitchen Time Warner.
It's been a while.
Yeah, so you guys have worked together. This is the hottest place in the kitchen. The rest of this
it's really
kitchen is kind of
nice and
beautiful. This grill gets hot.
Yes.
So Bass is going to go there. We're going to crisp the skin side up.
Yes.
Bingo, and I'm going to let you run with it. That is hot, man. That
It's
is
really
hot.
warm.
I mean, my skin's burning. I'm stepping out on
Oh,
this
we're
one.
nice and warm over here.
You do this. You're used to it.
For the most part, the center of the kitchen was always supposed
wood-
to be
that
the
wood stove.
wood-burning grill, and I knew I wanted it in a hearth. I was really inspired by Seamus Mullins.
That's amazing. Tortilla, the village.
I went to eat there all the time,
Right.
and the food coming off of there tasted so good, and I loved that it was in a hearth and that it was kind of enclosed.
Okay.
This grill is busy all night long. Probably 10 dishes come off of this, and they're all very popular, and it's busy.
Oh, it's so hot. So this is part of the move.
Smash the potato.
Smash the potato. It winds up being such a cool element of it.
We actually just like the potatoes and the salsa verde. The fish is just kind of an
Yeah.
added bonus.
It's true.
really about the potatoes and the salsa verde.
So what's in a classic Missy Robbins salsa verde?
Oh man, the cooks are gonna laugh at me if I don't nail this right now. Chopped parsley, chopped tarragon, chopped chive, garlic, caper, anchovy, shallot, olive oil, red wine vinegar, Dijon mustard, and egg yolk.
All done by hand, all done fresh, all done every day.
Every day, all done by hand. At this point, I could eat this every day.
One artichoke all day, one squid. Let's go.
That's it, baby. Let's go. Make it nice.
Make it nice.
So back in the day, 15 years ago, I started this show. I don't know how old you are. I don't want to do the math. You were a kid.
I'm gonna be 33 this year.
So you were a kid. So you grew up in the Bronx.
No, Queens, New York.
Queens. All right, Queens.
Flushing,
Representing.
Queens.
Family was in the restaurant business?
Yep.
Grew up in the business?
Yep.
And you used to watch this when I was on PBS way back in the day.
While I was cooking in the kitchen, I'm watching PBS, you know, your show, Ming Tsai, Jacques Pepetto, excuse me. I'm used to, we can curse on my show.
Old
Sorry.
guys, new guys. This is the new generation. Vice is
But
filling
you're
up
the
the
legend.
space.
Nah, yeah, we got it. You got to come on my show now. Please.
Vice is filling up the space. I love what you're doing. My kids love what you're doing. Action Bronson. If you don't know who I'm talking to, sorry about that. You're probably over 50. Action Bronson has a
have
show
a
on
good-
Vice called This Is Effing Delicious or something like
Yeah,
that.
something like that.
And another one where you watch a TV show. I haven't figured that one out yet, but
We're
my
just
kids
getting
watch it.
stoned watching Ancient Aliens. That's
True.
it.
And talking
That's it.
smack. It's
That's
hysterical.
it.
I'm like, that's a TV show, and apparently it is a TV show.
Open up, buddy. Open up. Are you ready?
Hold on.
There you go. Done.
That's how you eat white truffles. So great review last spring, 3 stars times.
Yeah. March 29th, good day.
How was business before that versus business?
Very busy. I think people were excited that I came out of hiding.
So what are we doing? We got this big steaks of
So
cauliflower.
we're gonna roast the cauliflower. We have cauliflower and we have Romanesco.
Right.
A lot of the food here has become very vegetable focused. I changed my diet a couple years ago and started eating a ton of vegetables and a ton of, you too?
You and me, baby.
And
Cut the proteins down, triple up on the vegetables. This
Ton
way you
of
never
fish.
feel hungry and you lose weight.
So the goal is to kind of do all these really tasty,
Yep.
fun vegetable dishes. I've cut out a lot of the fat in our dishes too. Every single dish used to have cheese and used to have nuts and used to have all this stuff. And I've really tried to compensate some of that with acids and herbs and zests and all that stuff.
And for people that have never, I mean, once you eat cauliflower like this, were you getting that caramelization?
You have to get. I used to think cauliflower was gross.
Everybody did
I mean-
until you do it this way, and then you're like, oh, why haven't I been doing this my whole life?
Yeah, right. We do a little orange juice on it.
Fresh squeezed orange.
Always fresh squeezed. We keep these little guys here all day long. Just gets tossed with a little acid, a little more olive oil. This is a really cool little vinaigrette kind of. We call it Sicilian pesto, and there's no such thing as Sicilian pesto. We made it up. It just has Sicilian ingredients in it. So it has sun-dried tomatoes. I'm bringing back the 80s. Sun-dried peppers. These really amazing sun-dried peppers from Sicily. Spicy soppressata, and orange zest and a little garlic. And this is just a really simple, it's just really simple and flavorful.
And healthy as can be because it's vegetable centric.
There's a little meat in it, right?
Well, as a garnish.
And this has become a staple on the menu. This will probably never go away.
What do you call it?
Roasted cauliflower with Sicilian pesto.
Tricky.
This just gets dressed. More orange zest. Again, zest and everything. Brightens everything up.
Yep.
And then a little
Marjoram?
marjoram.
Yeah, looks like marjoram.
We use a lot of marjoram here. And that's it. That's the dish.
Man, it's a bowl of goodness.
Eggplant clams, please. We opened this not to get 3-star reviews. We never even talked about reviews. We didn't talk about, oh, this is going to be a 3-star restaurant. We have to have this glassware so that we get 3 stars, and you have to wear this on your body, and you have to have this on your menu. There was never a discussion between any of us that opened this restaurant about that. Guys, I need runners. Let's go. I've done reviews. I've done Michelin stars. That's been my life for 20 years. And when I left Devoce and I took all this time off to sort of, primarily I just wanted a break and to have some fun, but a lot of it was to kind of evaluate what I really wanted to do. And I didn't know that it was this, and I didn't know that it was Williamsburg, and I didn't necessarily know that the food would be this, but I knew that whatever I did, I didn't want another spiaggia right now. I didn't want another avoce. I just wanted to do something different.
Talk to me about this, because this orange olive oil thing.
Yeah, I just wanted really simple desserts. Nothing crazy, no funny garnishes, no caramel swirls, no anything. I just wanted simple cakes. We're going to do soft serve in a minute, but gelato, just what you would kind of eat in Italy.
Because
honestly,
the Italians aren't great with desserts. They're not like the Viennese. They're not like the French. They're not like the. I mean.
No, but they do a couple things well.
They
do a couple things well, and I thought this was a really simple, great dessert. It's become a complete staple of the menu. Never going anywhere. We changed the fruit seasonally, so right now we're back to persimmons.
I was going to say this. I've made this at home, and look at that density too, of that crumb.
Yeah, right. So you get the nice crunch, and then it's kind of soft in the center. These have been soaked in a little grappa and simple syrup. I'm a big fan of grappa. It's kind of one of my favorite things. Then we just do whipped cream, guys. This is pretty simple whipped cream, and a lot of it. And that's it. That's the dish. Olive oil and sea salt. Which I've done before.
Yes.
And then truffle season just started.
We're putting truffles on ice cream.
We are. Truffles are special, and they're here 3 months a year, 4 months a year, October, November, 3 months a year, basically. Yeah. And we just decided to kind of highlight them and see. So we put a little honey on the gelato, and it's become a really big hit. People order it. Just a little shaving over the top.
Damn, G. And that's the bad boy. In Chicago, you really bore down on Italian hard. You came to Avoce, and it's that same space.
Still the same space, toned down from both of those places. Stripped of any kind of
pretense or like get rid of the tweet. Yes, right. Just kind of like more rustic. Is that a way?
I don't like to use the word rustic, but I guess that's a good descriptor. I think it's just stripped down. It's simple. I used to do pastas where I'd have 5 different garnishes on them. Our biggest selling pasta has 3 ingredients in it. I've heard from so many people, oh my God, it tastes like my mom's. Oh my God, it tastes like my grandmother. Oh my God, and to me, that's the biggest compliment. Oh my God, it's better than what I had in Italy. And it's funny because they're not my food memories because I'm not Italian. So I'm creating other people's grandmothers.
You're a nice Jewish girl from Connecticut.
I am, but something in me.
That doesn't make the cut.
Really? Something in me is Italian. I don't know what it is,
true.
but
you're channeling somebody's Italian grandmother.
I am channeling someone's Italian grandmother.
Bacon and the beans. My grandmother used to get a bushel of green beans and cook them for, I don't know, she must cook them for a week. Just a big slab of fat back and whatever. And every time I made these beans, everybody says, oh my God, they remind me of my grandmother. So I love, everybody's grandmother apparently made the same beans. Short rib, it's a sour braised short rib, sort of like a sour gratin. And then it's served over autumn greens, some dandelion, some kale, and some parsnip puree.
So you make the pie dough here. How do you do the inside?
The inside is green tomatoes. We soak them in boiling water. We mix them with molasses, brown sugar, a little vinegar. Pennsylvania
and molasses,
flavors.
That's like the Pennsylvania Dutch thing.
Yeah.
Like that shoe fly pie. I grew up eating that as a kid, and I always loved that.
I mean, it's a byproduct of trade. If you wanted the rum,
right? If you made sugar,
you had to take molasses, right? So there you go. And it's
cool.
Yeah.
So you and Missy had these great careers, long careers, in Manhattan.
In Manhattan, the whole
name
time.
the restaurants, bing, 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 bing.
La Madre, Coco Pazzo, Il Toscanaccio, all of the Pinot
Longos
restaurants. Tuscan Square, I Trulli, Centovini.
Right. What got you into Italian?
I trained as a pastry chef.
In cooking school? No.
No, I went to school in Baltimore.
Okay.
I was doing pastry for a long time, and this new fancy restaurant opened in DC, and I'd been working for, French guys and Swiss guys. I went and talked to the chef, and I got the job. It turned out it was an Italian restaurant, so I just made all the French things Italian, and... I'm
not sure what that means, but...
Well, it was Northern Italian. It was,
Okay, you have liberties.
Yeah.
Right.
And, it was freeing. The French are so rote. Pastry is really... there's not a different pear tart. There's a good pear tart and a great pear tart. But the Italians don't really have that, you know, so it was a lot, you know, I could use all the fresh produce I wanted and do all kinds of really cool things. So I started doing Italian pastry. It's like sweet and sour, but it's much more savory than it is
Sweet.
sweet.
Right.
But we also make green tomato mincemeat.
I could see that.
Again, you know, you're not going to waste anything, so the frost comes, your tomatoes die. It's interesting, right, because it's like American cucina povera.
Like most of Southern cuisine.
Yeah.
Wasn't until I really studied this cooking of this in the American South that I thought it's just like Italy.
Yeah, starting in the 50s, or you know, with the advent of the supermarket or whatever, everybody moves away from like what you had in your garden and what you had in your yard, and you know, of course you were going to eat it. You were hungry.
So when did you move to the hot side? Or why is a better question. Because pastry is always its nice little oasis of
midlife crisis,
of calm and rainbows and kitten breath and hot sides guys.
Yeah, that's what pastry is. Yeah.
I mean, hot sides guys throwing knives and getting burnt and getting yelled at. And
I always think that it's two different sides of the brain. You know, in
pastry,
in pastry you're always thinking
classical
like
music versus
2-3
jazz.
hours from now.
And everything has to be the same, and the order sequencing is big, and the temperature.
Right. I don't even know how it really came up. I kind of remember I was discussing things with Pino, and all of a sudden I was the chef of the Madre. Well, so this is our green tomato pie.
That's so cool.
Yep.
All right, so that's everything that everyone gets at the beginning.
Oh no.
One more thing?
Yeah. Oysters.
Oh yeah, the oysters.
Yeah. So all that, you had this great long run in Manhattan. How did this come up, Delaware and Hudson, in Williamsburg? Why? I mean, you were looking for a space?
I was looking for a space. I was looking in Manhattan. And I really didn't have that much of a vision for what I wanted to do. I just wanted to do something. And a friend of mine lives in this neighborhood, and the people who were here before were very successful, so successful that they outgrew the restaurant. And they were pretty cool. And so I came and I took one look at it, and I was like, this is it. This is it. This is my space.
So that's like a flour, club soda.
Flour, club soda, baking powder, salt. It's really the batter I learned from the Italians. We're always frying.
Yeah, they want to pan fry them.
Yeah. So this is kohlrabi slaw. Kohlrabi, one of my favorite obscure
hideous
vegetables.
Fruit vegetables.
Oh, come on, it's not hideous. It's delicious. Kohlrabi slaw is just the kohlrabi and a little cream and a little mustard and a little mustard seed.
From the early days on, it's like a chef's dream menu.
It's so pared down. So you describe what customer sits down, they're getting a menu. What's on the menu? And it changes every day, but what's on the menu?
So the customer sits down. They get 5, 6, 7 little
things to come out
to share at the beginning.
A bite, 2 bites, a bite, 2 bite stuff.
Might be a little tasting of soup. It might be a little slice of a savory pie. It could be
a fried oyster,
some smoked fish,
bluefish
pate, all kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff that has relevance to the region, to this region, to the Mid-Atlantic. This is parched flour pasta with Brussels sprout squash and cured pork. And then there's a mid-course that's usually like a pasta, because I can't get away from that Italian thing, but sometimes it's spätzle, and sometimes it's dumplings, and sometimes, it's something more veg-heavy or not. And then there's a choice of entrees. Long Island duck breast, pan-seared, served with a fig sauce, and Swiss chard and caramelized turnips.
So the inspiration for this restaurant was the cuisines of from Baltimore and Maryland and Pennsylvania, because you're from kind of the boondocks of Pennsylvania. I'm joking, but Lackawanna County is outside of Scranton.
Yeah, boondocks is not ungenerous.
Sorry.
So we do our special secret burger on a pretzel roll. These are our pretzel rolls. Very Pennsylvania thing. And do you know that hard pretzels actually were invented in America?
I didn't know that. That was the evolution of the pretzel in America.
I thought that was an amazing thing.
So that's an American thing. The contribution to the world's thing is we made the dry, hard pretzel.
Yeah.
We're good for something here.
Yeah, we brought a lot to civilization. So we serve these with a little cultured butter. We just kind of let's go out like that. But yeah, when we first opened, somebody called me and was like, "So are you making this up?" I was like, "No. I mean, I have cookbooks that that say that they're the Chesapeake Bay or Pennsylvania Dutch." And I thought it would be fun to see where you could take that.
You got a Times review. Wells was like, lukewarm. But then, when he did his end of year December, like 10 favorite restaurants or 10 favorite meals issue, you guys were in it.
I don't know what he was thinking, but Pete Wells has been nothing but kind and generous.
Well, the end of the year thing was great because that December piece gets a ton of press. You were on it, and I'm like, well, thank you. That's great.
Thank you, Pete Wells.
Yes, Pete Wells, thank you. And then a Michelin star, which is kind of like, seriously?
I laughed, I cried, I jumped up and down, I ran out the front door, I went back to the kitchen. I mean, it was crazy because they just call you. So I had no idea. So the phone rang, the manager said, the Michelin guy is on the phone. I was like, oh, okay. No, I'm sure there were many people in the world who were very, very surprised, but nobody was as surprised as I was.
So you're like this all-American gal doing kind of regional all-American cooking. How cool is that?
It's pretty great. It's a lot easier to explain than when I had to talk about what part of Italy I was not from.
Yeah, for 25 years of your career.
Mike Colameco's Real Food is brought to you by the continuous, generous support of the following underwriters.
Extra virgin olive oil from Colavita, an Italian family brand.
Rachel Ray's signature specialty food line, designed for preparing meals at home.